take losses with a very volatile market. Same exact thing. Make that conscious decision before you start the day. And you should honestly do this every single day. You should make the decision and say, am I in the right headspace to be trading today? If you're not in the right headspace, you probably shouldn't be trading, right? And if you continue to trade while not being in the right headspace, you're going to see that really affect your trading. It will affect your trading, right? And I'm sure most of you would agree with me. Okay, so again, if you even if you did take these longs right here off the inverse, let's see how many ticks right now. You know, it's at 140 ticks basically. So even no matter any of these entries that I talked about that you would have taken would have been profitable today. I know the price action has been very good so far today. It has been very good. I will admit it's been better than I expected for sure. I was expecting it to be much worse than this. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So, like I said, 5-minute unicorn. Boom, you could have jumped into that entry right there if you're being very aggressive. You could have taken that entry. You could have taken the entry right here, right? You could have taken this entry right as we start pushing above, creating the breaker. Okay, and then if you break it down even further, you could have waited to take the entry off of, this 1 minute, or you could have waited for the inversion right here and taken your entry there. So there's opportunities that you could have taken some scalps off of this long right here. And I've talked about every single one of them, right? So there's been opportunity, but I don't know how much further this one's going to go for. And I wouldn't have even wanted to long in a place like this where we're already almost up to our key liquidity level, previous day high. I don't like longing when we're already only a few points away from that level. I like to kind of stay away from that. Let's play some Christmas music. Okay, we need to send another poll. Is it okay to listen to Christmas music before Thanksgiving? Yes or no? We need to. Who can send a poll for me? Come on, I need to see a poll here. Most people are saying no. I don't know how the results are looking so far. I haven't been paying attention yet. Okay, guys, vote on the poll. Is it okay to listen? And then I will base my Christmas music off of that poll. Okay, we're getting more no's. Oh, it's almost break even here. Man, it's just so much more fun to vote when it's actually voting day. Oh, man. You guys are funny. All right, guys. So, I know we did the poll of who is trading today. And it seems like there's still a good amount of people that are trading. And I would like to know, if you did decide to trade today, why did you decide to trade, and why did you decide not to trade, right? These are the things we want to be thinking about. What was your reasoning? A message for you. Okay, so we're almost into the daily SIBI here. Remember, we talked about weekly sell side, or sell profile, right? Weekly sell profile, we want to see us trade into this daily SIBI, and then we want to see a reaction off that daily SIBI. Mariah Carey has already defrosted. She's ready to go. I'm already hearing her songs. Okay, so the hourly closes in just a few minutes. Let's look and make sure. Let's see what news we have, right? Let's see what news we have. Today is Tuesday, November 5th. Look at all this. Red folder news coming up in a few minutes, guys. Stay far away from this, please. And then, again, we have presidential election, congressional elections, all that. But if you're not gonna trade at all or at any point in the day, I would say stay away from the next 5 to 10 minutes. Even if you trade the rest of the day besides that, I would stay away from the next 5 to 10 minutes if I were you. Unless you're already in a trade right now, I would just look to probably close that trade out before the news comes out. So again, if you guys took that unicorn model, I mean, I'm telling you, the unicorn model is probably my highest probability setup with my highest win percentage. Is probably the unicorn model. It's my favorite model in the world. I will talk about it until the day that I die. I'm going to get a unicorn tattooed on me, guys. I will literally get a unicorn tattooed on me because I love the model so much. It is such a good model. It's insane. I thought I was crazy when I first started learning what a unicorn model was and I started implementing it into my trading. I thought I was actually crazy. I was like, there's no way that this model can work so well, so consistently, and it does. It does. If you know how to trade it, it works so well. Just like you see this 5-minute right here. I mean, look at that. Look at that. If you guys took the unicorn model entry here off this fair value gap, I mean, you wouldn't have gotten any drawdown there. We never even came down. Now, you wouldn't have had a great place to keep your stop loss. That's the only issue with that trade. But let's just say you did, for instance, take that. I mean, that's 400 plus ticks right there, guys. That's 400 ticks right there from that unicorn model. And look at where we just started bouncing from, the daily Sibby, guys. This is where I would want to start seeing the reversal. Exactly. I wouldn't short yet until I start seeing the actual reversal pattern. You don't want to just jump into the shorts off the first reaction you see off of a higher time frame imbalance, right? No, you want to see an actual lower time frame reversal pattern, inversion, right? You'd want to see us inversing a 1-minute busy like this one. You would want to see us create like a bearish breaker block, something along those lines. Let's see. And guys, look, we have news, red folder news in 2 minutes. Please, I would not be in the market if I were you. I would not be in the market. Please, please, please. Yeah, so the 1-minute busy is right here. We just inversed it, right? We just inversed it. That would still, I don't think that's enough for me to start shorting personally, but that's a good first indication, right? That's a good indication to see if we're going to start getting the reversal. We do have big SMT up here. Notice on the 1 hour. Look at this SMT, guys. If we look at the 1 hour time frame real quick, and I'll answer all your questions, don't worry. But notice how up here, NQ just swept that high up there. Boom, SMT divergence. Right there. ES has not swept that high. That's another indication of reversal, right? Another indication of reversal. So I would start expecting that reversal to start stepping in somewhat soon. That's what I would want to see. If I was going to be trading, I would be looking for that. So another good thing that you could do to be patient and to wait for the reversal is you could wait for us to inverse a 5-minute busy like this one, right? If we come down and we close below a 5-minute busy, that could be a good indication of reversal. But just because we trade into a daily Sibby doesn't mean you should just start jumping into the shorts. You have to have way more confirmation, right? Because you know how many times people will just take an entry and try to guess the top of a move and try to guess the bottom just because we hit a resistance or a support level and they don't use any other confirmation? That's how you get stopped out of your trades. Because look, if I just jumped into a short right now with, you know, I have like 2 indications of reversal so far. But that's not enough right now. That's not enough for me to jump in because we are still in a bullish trend. We haven't broken structure to sell side yet. We need to break structure. We need to come down and sweep some lows or actually close below the lows to see us really start breaking structure, right? We haven't broken structure. We're still in a bullish trend, so you should not be shorting yet. You should be waiting for us to break structure of the trend. This is why. And guys, red folder news, please stay away from this right now. I would stay away from this if I were you. I mean, I would not be trading this personally. If I was trading today, I would not be getting in an entry when there's red folder news coming out. All right, let me look. Thanks, SS Trades. Wait, let me look at Corrupts and Javier. Okay, Javier, we never have losing days. There are lesson days. Exactly, man. Lesson, 100%. Corrupt said, I took the 5-minute fair value gap. Certain things, it did align with my model, so I had to take it. There you go, man. That's what it's all about. If it aligns with your model, you don't sit out. You take your entry, right? If you are planning on trading and you see the perfect A+ setup, you take the entry. You have confidence in your strategy. That's what it's all about. Would you kindly mention like the basic criteria for a unicorn setup? Of course. Well, we can just look at the example, talk about basic criteria. And again, if you guys want a full-on video about it, I have a video in my Discord, Eternal Exchange, all about the unicorn model. And it's for free. All my education is free. So if you want to check out that video, it's on my YouTube as well. I definitely recommend watching that even after I explain it right here. But the basic criteria is a breaker block is the first step to the unicorn, right? A breaker block is the first step. You want to keep a low. You want to see a low, a high, a lower low, and then you want to see price displace the highs. So notice how we got a close above our previous high. This is a breaker block. This is a reversal pattern. So if price was bearish, when we see this pattern, we want to see price reverse and be bullish. You want to see a low high, lower low displacement of the highs. What makes it a unicorn model is when we have a fair value gap like this overlapping our breaker block, right? So the breaker is the highest up close candle on the first low to high. And notice how we have this big fair value gap overlapping. And then when price trades back into it, look at that perfect bounce right here. We zoom in. Look at this perfect bounce. Oops, that was a little big. But look at this. Boom. We bounced perfectly off of that unicorn, off that fair value gap. And then we just pumped. We just pumped off that fair value gap. So that is a unicorn model. It's a breaker block with a fair value gap overlapping. And that is my favorite setup that I will ever trade. I don't think I'll ever find a better, a setup that I like more than this. Why did you use that stop loss and not the one? Wait. And not the one after that? What do you mean SL? Am I tripping right now? Oh, swing low. Okay, sorry. Okay, so why did I use that swing low and not the one after it? What do you? Okay, so that's a great question, right? You could use this one too. That would still be valid. That would still be valid. But look at right here. You want to see. Well, here, let me explain it to you. Actually, this is why. Right here, when we made this, okay, swing low, swing high. Notice how this swing low wasn't lower than this swing low. That wouldn't be a breaker block because this swing low never came down and swept this low. We never came down below this one. So this one wouldn't be the one I would be using. It would be this one right here because this one came down and swept our previous lows. That's what makes it a valid breaker block, right? This one never came down and closed or came down below this low. Does that make sense, T-Stan? Okay, so you said, but after... Oh, thank you, Pepe. Thank you. But the okay, let me read through. But the entry for the unicorn model is the fair value gap above the breaker block. It's the fair value gap that overlaps the breaker block, right? It's the fair value gap that overlaps the breaker block. So as long as there is any fair value gap that overlaps this breaker, that is the entry level. So even if the fair value gap comes all the way up here, you can still take your entry right there off of that fair value gap because it's the same one. This is the unicorn fair value gap right here, right? Because it is overlapping the breaker block. A breaker block requires a sweep. So yeah, it has to come down for my breaker block that I want to see valid. I need to see it come down and sweep that previous low, right? I need to see it come down. Even if it closes below with displacement, that doesn't bother me. I need to see it come down below that previous low. Yeah, right. It would exactly, T-Stan. 1 minute silver bullet. Yeah, we are in silver bullet now, right? So, silver bullet. Some of you might be asking, what is silver bullet? The hour from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern time is our silver bullet hour. You are looking for fair value gap entries during this hour to go target opposing liquidity. So right now, what I would want to see happen is a reversal pattern. And look at, we're forming a reversal pattern currently. Look at this high, low, higher high. If we come down and we displace this low right here, that would be a bearish breaker block on the 1 minute with a break of structure. That would give us a reversal pattern, and then we could take a 1 minute bearish breaker silver bullet entry down to grab opposing liquidity down on sell side, right? We're bouncing off a higher time frame PD array, a bearish imbalance. We have SMT divergence at the highs between ES and NQ. If we get inversion right here and we get a breaker block and we get a break of structure, that's all of the confirmation I would need to start jumping into a short position. So if we see that reversal pattern happening right now, that's when I would start looking for shorts. If you don't see us come down and break structure, I would not be taking a short yet. If we don't break structure, you should not be jumping into the shorts yet. That's a fact. Stop trying to guess the tops and the bottoms of moves. It's not going to help you become a good trader. It's just going to set you back. If you are trying to guess the top and guess the bottom, you're going to take some really bad trades and then you're going to get stopped out by manipulation. All you have to do is just wait for a break of structure, a market structure fix, a market structure shift. Any of those kinds of things, you need to wait for those, and your probability of trades being winners compared to losers will go up so much. Flip a coin and full port. That's what I do. You want me to ask Siri? I can ask Siri. Hey, should KT go long or short? Thanks, Green. Hey, you too, man. The fair value gap can be bigger than the breaker block, but yes, exactly, Adam. Exactly. Correct. It can be bigger than the breaker as long as it overlaps. As long as it overlaps. Thank you, Honest Money. Yeah, guys, like this today, if you are not trading, you should be using this time to learn. Wow, I can't talk today. You should be using this time to learn, to get better, to improve on your trading skills, to backtest your strategy. Instead of just staring at this chart and not learning anything, learn, practice. You don't have to trade, just practice, practice, practice. That's what a day like today can be really important for. And if you already are at the point where you are so confident in your strategy, then honestly, I wouldn't even look at the charts on a day like this. I would just be doing my own thing and not even looking at the charts. But if you're someone that is still in the learning process and that is really trying to learn the strategy, use days like today to really learn that strategy, right? Really focus on learning, learning, learning. Pepe, you actually learn more from these 10 minutes than most traders. Dude, thank you for saying that. Of course, man. That makes me very happy, man. That is what I'm here for. That is what I'm here for, man. We are all about education and discipline. That is what we stand for at Eternal Exchange in my trading Discord, is education and discipline, and obviously that leads to great trading, right? You're not going to be a great trader if you're not disciplined and if you're not educated. You have to be in this trading game. You guys realize what we are up against in this trading game. If you think you're going to stroll on into this market without doing the proper education and the proper practice, and when you are either really egotistical or you do not really know what this trading thing is. You have to put in the education. And it's different. If you're just a copy trader, that's okay. I completely understand that. If you're just here to copy trades, awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm all for that. But if you are really here to become an independent trader, you need to put in the work to become educated. Let's see. Chickling, you said, I struggled to find unicorn models, but I've gotten way better. Man, right? And that's all with practice, right? Everything's with practice. The more you start charting out the unicorn or any strategy that you're trying to learn, the more it's just going to be natural and you're going to start seeing it without even thinking about it. But a big fair value gap would create a big stop loss that may not be feasible. Correct, Jack. Yes, exactly. And that's why I talked about the inverse entry, right? Because if you think about it, yes, this entry down here is difficult because your entry or your stop loss, where are you going to put it? It's going to be really hard unless you have a 200 tick stop loss, right? That's why you wait for the 1 minute time frame to give you a better entry with better risk management, like waiting for the inversion fair value gap up here on the 1 minute. If you would have waited for this one, you could have had a way better stop loss. You could have kept your stop just under this fair value gap, or you could have even kept it down here for 65 ticks. And then that would have been way better of a move. And you might not have caught as much reward, but you have way better risk compared to your reward. So that's why whenever you see a unicorn or a breaker on the 5 or the 15 minute, drop down to the 1 minute time frame and look for a more specific entry based off like an inverse or maybe another 1 minute fair value gap that overlaps that breaker block, because that's going to give you way better risk management, right? Instead of trading NQ today, I full ported into Peanut Coin. Good luck, brother. Good luck. You can be on paper money if you need to trade. Exactly, right? Trade paper. Trade paper if you cannot. If you can't seem to stay out of the market, trade paper. Thank you, Green. Thank you. Can the breaker block and fair value gap for unicorn be on a different time frame? No, I like it to be on the same time frame personally. If it's going to be a unicorn, I need it to be on the same time frame. But you can still drop it down into like a 1 minute and you can start to find better entries inside like I did here, right? We found an inverse fair value gap entry that was inside of the breaker block, that still would have given a, well, it wasn't inside of the breaker block, but it was off of the breaker, off the unicorn, that would have still given a very good entry. Do you mark previous day high and low from daily candle? I mark it from the daily candle, yeah. I do it on the daily candle, but you can do either one. You could go down to the hourly, to the 15 minute. It's going to be, it doesn't make a big difference to me. How did you choose that close? Wait, let me look first at some other ones. What are the signs that would invalidate the unicorn model? Well, that's a great question, man. And guys, look we're getting the reversal now, right? If we close below this low, that's a break of structure. That's the reversal pattern. So where's our breaker block here? Where is our breaker? Can someone tell me what the breaker block would be here if we get this reversal? Look at this, guys. This is exactly what I talked about. Can someone let me know what's... Yes, the last down close candle. Thank you. Thank you. So the breaker is this candle. We just formed a breaker block. Boom. This is the breaker. Now, you need to be careful when we're bouncing off a 5-minute busy like this, right? What I would wait for here is to see inversion of this 5-minute before I looked for an entry. Because, look, yes, the 1-minute candle, the 1-minute time frame, obviously it looks like the reversal. But you want to be careful when we're bouncing off of a higher time frame bullish imbalance, because that can basically control more than the 1 minute. It's more powerful. So what I like to wait for is maybe wait for inversion of this 5-minute first before I look to get in that entry. But if you're going to be more aggressive and you really think the shorts are stepping in, you can take your entry off of this breaker right now, right? That's just depending on you. Let's say you got your entry all the way up here, right? You could keep your stop loss above the breaker, about 60 ticks if you wanted to. And yeah, that's really aggressive though. That's way more of a risky entry while we're bouncing off of a 5-minute bullish imbalance. So I probably wouldn't take this entry yet if it were me, even though we did get our break of structure. Okay, now we have a unicorn. Now we have a unicorn. Look at this unicorn model here. 1 minute fair value gap overlapping the breaker, another unicorn. Now the 1 minute is not as strong as the 5-minute, so I still don't trust it completely, just because we're bouncing off some 5-minute bullish imbalances. But this is starting to create the reversal pattern, and if it doesn't happen, that's because we're bouncing off of the 5-minute bullish imbalance, right? So that's why you still want to pay attention to different time frames. You can't base everything off the 1 minute time frame. You cannot base everything off the 1 minute. You have to see confirmation on higher time frames. That's why I would wait for this 5-minute to come down and close below, see some inversion before I look to take this short. That's what I would do personally, right? But we're bouncing off the unicorn. And if you are way more of an aggressive trader, you could definitely look to take that entry, but that's just not an entry I would take right now, personally. But you're starting to see that reversal pattern play out. Yes, I will have this on YouTube. Don't worry, I will post this on YouTube after. Okay, and Chicklin, I'm going to get to your question now. What would invalidate the unicorn model if we close above the fair value gap? Like, let's say right now, Chicklin, we close above this fair value gap. That invalidates the unicorn now. It is no longer valid. If we close above the fair value gap, the unicorn fair value gap, it's no longer a valid level. I wouldn't be looking to take that entry anymore. So like on the 1 minute, if this 1 minute candle closes above this fair value gap, the unicorn is not valid, right? And for the breaker block to not be valid anymore, it would be closing above this breaker block. If we close above the breaker, it's no longer a valid bearish breaker, right? So it's just seeing displacement or us disrespecting that level is what makes it invalid. How did you choose that close low? Okay, so what do you mean by that, Green? How did I choose that close low? This low right here, how did I choose that low? Because it is a swing low, 3 candle pattern, right? Down close, up close, up close, 3 candle pattern, that's a swing low. This is a break of structure level. That is our structure right here. If we break this structure, we are no longer respecting our 1 minute bullish structure at this point, right? That's why I chose that low. Let's see, reading through some of your guys' chats. Inverse entry is my favorite in unicorn. Same here, honest money. If you can combine unicorn model with inverse fair value gaps, I'm telling you, man, that is a game changer. That is literally a game changer. It will change your trading. Joe's army is here. What's up, Pablo? Buenos dias. ¿Cómo estás? What's up, Matthew? You said I can't even trade today even if I wanted to because I have to wait for my payout request to be approved. That's great, man. That's great. That is fine. That is fine, man. If you need to stay out of the market, you're getting a payout. That's all that matters. You are making some money. You are making some money. So that's a good reason to stay out of the market, you know? That's a good reason to stay out of the market, even if you didn't really have a choice. All right, guys. So again, as I said before, this is still very aggressive to be shorting right now. Even though we got a bearish breaker on the 1 minute, just because we can't seem to break through the 5 minute right now. We have 2 5-minute imbalances. We can't seem to break through them. And we also just formed a 15 minutes busy right here. So yes, as good as this setup looks, and we do have a lot of different confirmations, I don't know if I would be jumping into this entry yet myself, even though it looks like such a good entry. It's just still very risky. But again, we are getting a perfect bounce off this unicorn right now. So it just depends on your risk level. Are you more of a risk averse trader? Or are you more of a risk on trader? Do you like to be more risky? Are you more aggressive? If you are, and you have a ton of conviction in the shorts, this would be your entry. If you're more conservative, you would be waiting for the 5-minute bullish imbalance to be inversed. Right? But this is exactly what we talked about. What did I say earlier, guys? I said, if we're going to be long, the furthest I want to see is us trade into the daily bearish imbalance. And look what happened. We trade into the daily bearish imbalance, and this is where we're bouncing from. Now, again, we could still be bullish today because we haven't broken structure on our higher time frames yet. But this is exactly where I wanted to see us bounce from, was the daily, and then we get SMT divergence, and then we start seeing a 1-minute reversal pattern, right? So all of these things are telling us that we did inverse the 4-hour. We did inverse the 4-hour SIBI. Something to keep in mind, right? That is very important, actually. The fact that we inverse this 4-hour SIBI is very important. That means we have very strong bullish order flow. So again, that would just be another reason to be waiting for that 5-minute to get inversed. We also closed above on the 1-hour here with displacement. So I would just be very cautious right now, guys. Very cautious. Look at that. We keep bouncing off the 5-minute busy down here. We continue to bounce off that 5-minute busy. We can't break through it. We cannot break through it. And look at, we just inversed the unicorn. That's why I said I would not be looking for this entry just yet. Because we just inversed the 1-minute unicorn. So the unicorn is no longer valid. So this looks to me like the longs are still trying to step in, right? That's why we pay attention to other time frames, not just the 1 minute. If you are solely looking at the 1 minute, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. You can't solely look at the 1 minute time frame. You got to be looking at every other time frame, right? I look at the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, and the weekly. When I combine all of those together, I get my higher time frame analysis from the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and I can drop that down into the 15, the 5 minute, and the 1 minute. That is where I see the most success. That is where I see the most success. Now, we're still respecting the breaker right now, but we did inverse the unicorn, but the breaker is still being respected. And we're just very choppy. So what you're waiting for confirmation on a reversal would be close below this 5-minute busy right here. That would give you that a pretty decent confirmation, right? But there's still a lot of other things you want to see happen because we still have a 15-minute busy here. We have another 5-minute busy down here and down here. So I would just be very careful. But the higher time frame on the daily would tell me that this one should start going short pretty soon, especially with the weekly sell profile that I've been talking about. This one, to me, should start dropping pretty soon. I would expect that. But you need to see a lot more before you start taking the shorts. I would need to see a lot more. Why is your first 5-minute busy until the open of the candle? Let's look. Oh, that's a great question. It shouldn't be. Oh, wait, that's the breaker block. That's the breaker block. So that's the breaker block. That's why. That's not the busy. That is the breaker. I should have titled that. Here, let me title that. That's my bad. 1 minute bearish breaker. That's why. Thanks for bringing that up. So the 5-minute would be right from here. I know we have a lot of lines right now. There's a lot of stuff going on in these charts. But that would be the 5-minute right here. Oh, let me give that line there. Boom, right there, right? That's the 5-minute. That's the 5-minute. So we'd want to see a close below that 5-minute if the shorts were going to come in. All right, guys. So if you have been trading today, how has your trading gone so far? If you have been trading, are you profitable today? Yes or no? How's it going? Green, 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 green. All right, guys. Well, that's good. That makes me happy. As long as you're green, that makes me happy, man. If you're trading on a day like this, I just hope you're green. So it looks like everybody's green. Past a combine, very nice. Green, but small green, thinking of calling it a day. Probably a good idea, Bubba. Probably a good idea. Yeah, man. Just securing profits on a day like today is probably the most important thing you can do. Hey, there you go, Omar. 1,300. Very nice. All right. Well, that makes me very happy. I was a little bit nervous, guys. I'm not going to lie. I was a little nervous for you guys trading today, but the price action has been very good today. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be this good either. It's been very good. But I made the conscious decision myself that I wasn't going to trade no matter what, and I stuck with that decision, right? I made the decision. I'm not going to trade, so I'm not going to trade. But again, the price action has looked very clean today, and we've still called out, you know, a nice trade. Green started a new FFF 50K challenge. Nice, MJ. Very nice. Waiting for the call out on the reversal. There we go. Patience, 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 man. Patience pays. Patience pays indeed. Right now, it doesn't look like we want to get that reversal here. It does not look like we want to reverse right now. It looks like we want to keep moving higher. Right, we're bouncing off the 5 minute. We're bouncing off this 5 minute. So right now, this one still looks like we're trying to be bullish here. So we'll just have to, you just have to be patient. You just got to wait and see if we're going to get the reversal. If not, again, this one still looks bullish. You would start looking for the longs again if we start pumping and inversing this 1 minute breaker. Yeah, it's just messing with us. Look at, we just inversed the breaker. We just inversed the breaker, so no breaker pattern anymore. So now I expect these longs to keep stepping in again. Okay, good question. If it doesn't reverse, where would you look to keep longing this? Great question. I would look to start taking it up to our next external swing high, like this one up here. Right? That's where I would look for this one to go. Because that's our next key liquidity level on the external, right? And you can also look at the daily. Let's look at the consequent encroachment of the daily. You could also look to take this one to the 50% right here. This is the equilibrium consequent encroachment level of the daily fair value gap. So that's another level if you look at just EQ there. Let's do daily SIBI EQ right there. Let's make that red so that way we can get this big old box out of there. All right, so you could look to take it up to the daily EQ. You could look it up to take it up to that daily or to the 1 hour swing high. Right, that's the next liquidity level that I would be looking at for price to go to. If we are going to make it up there, that's where I would expect it to go. All right, so I would expect it to reach 23.87.5, at least up to there. If these longs are going to keep pumping, that's where I would want to see this one keep going to. All right, so we disrespected the 1 minute bearish breaker. We're now looking pretty bullish again. This looks like more of a sweep down here of liquidity, almost like a turtle soup move, right? Where we created internal structure, we souped the lows, and now we're coming back up, and it looks like we want to go target hourly highs, right? That's what it's kind of looking like to me right now. That is what it's looking like here. So now, what would you be looking to target your entry off of if you are going to jump to the longs? It's silver bullet hour, so you want to take a 1 minute fair value gap entry, right? You'd want to be looking for a 1 minute fair value gap entry, maybe something like this one. 1 minute busy here. How can we see the confirmation of the long? So there's a few things, right? The first confirmation is reading order flow. Is bullish order flow in control? Are we bouncing and respecting 1 minute bullish imbalances? Right? That's the first step. Next step would be closing above this level, right? Closing above this level, just to make sure that we have displacement above the highs. That would be your confirmations. But look we're bouncing off a 1 minute busy. That's that entry level I talked about. Silver bullet long here. Boom. So if you got your entry right there, you want to keep your stop loss below the wick of the fair value gap candle. So you could keep a 38 tick stop right now, have very light risk, and you could even look to just scalp this one up to this recent high for a quick 90-something ticks, right? If that's something you're looking to do, you could do that. If you want to wait for extra confirmation, you would wait for us to close above this high right here, right? And as I said today, guys, now that we've made our initial move, today's price action could start getting crazy. This price action could start getting crazy, right? As you can see right now, look at that manipulation right there. This one just manipulated all the way back down. It swept that low. right? You could have, there is another fair value gap down here, so you could have kept your stop a little bit lower than that too. Look at that 1 minute fair value gap. So you could have kept your stop maybe a little bit lower, but again, this price action is going to get crazy, guys. It's going to get crazy. We're getting closer and closer and closer to the election results, right? So up here, can you guys, just look at this in general. We had really good price action on the move up, right? Great price action, great order flow. And ever since we hit that daily SIBI, it's been pretty weak. It's been pretty bad price action, right? It's been pretty bad price action. Now we're still respecting this fair value gap, but look at that manipulation wick right there. That wick came down and manipulated all the way down here and would have stopped you out right there and still respected the fair value gap. And I would be very, very cautious about longing. I agree with you, Corrupts. I would just be very cautious about trading in general. I'd be very cautious about trading this in general. That's why I'm not trading. Again, great price action, bad price action here. Great price action on the way up, bad price action ever since we hit that daily SIBI and we got SMT divergence at the highs. And I don't expect price action to get better, guys. I would expect it to get worse and worse throughout the day. That's my expectation. Corrupts, you said I would look for shorts or be done. Yeah, I would want to see the shorts come in. That would be what I would want to see happen, just because of my higher time frame analysis. We just came down an inverse 2 bullish fair value gap. So this is when price action is going to start getting very interesting here, guys. Look at that. We just came down and inverse both of those bullish fair value gaps there. Back into the 5 minute busy. And now, where would we be looking for the next break of structure? On the 1 minute would be this low down here. If we break structure on this low, now we have another bearish breaker block with a break of structure on the 1 minute. That's where I would be looking for there, right? You want to see us come down and sweep that old low. But we're still bouncing off this 5 minute busy here. We still can't break through the 5 minute busy. So, guys, as I said before, I'm not trading this, and that's for a reason. If you guys are in the green already, my recommendation is just to walk away and hold on to your profit for the day. Don't risk your profits on a day like this. Take your profits and run, man. Take your profits and run. Right? Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. You guys know what I'm talking about. I've been there before where I'm super, super green on the day, and then I get way too greedy, and then I start forcing trades, and then I end up in the red on the day, and I have a terrible day because of that. I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay in bed and feel like, and just talk bad about myself and say, you suck at trading. You're so bad. When I know I'm not a bad trader, I just, it's the emotions. The emotions are in control. You can't do much when the emotions are in control. The only thing you can do is walk away. Been stopped out 3 times, account locked. Exactly, man. Just lock that account and walk away. So here's now the new reversal pattern here. Here's the new reversal pattern. If we close below this low, now we have another bearish breaker. High, low, higher high, displacement of the lows. That would be a new reversal pattern here. This would be the breaker, the lowest down close candle. Right there would be the breaker. Pretty big breaker block, right? Pretty big breaker block would be hard to get entries. But this would be the breaker if you can get that breaker structure here. If you can get that breaker structure here, that's when you would start looking again for possible shorts. We did inverse this 5 minute finally. We got inversion of this 5 minute. We tapped into the 15 minute busy down there. So now you would really want to see this one start following through. So you would want to see the break of structure here. You would want to see this one retest the breaker block, right? And this, you would want to look for your entry off the breaker. And it's going to be hard to get a good entry level with a good stop loss because this breaker block is pretty big, right? It's over 100 ticks. But you still need to wait for that breaker structure down here. Again, we got SMT at the lows now. We have higher time frame SMT at the highs. So this is just where you need to be careful. Ever since we traded up here, price action has been pretty rough, right? I would stay away from this right now until you see that real break of structure and a real bounce off of a breaker block. I would probably stay way clear of this price action. It's a stress-free environment. You're not stressed about your trades working out. You just get to relax, listen to some good music, and just practice. I enjoy it. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy it. Trust me, I like trading just as much as everybody else. Maybe more than a lot of people. Probably more than most people. I mean, that's what I do for a living. I love it. But it's important to take days like this to really hone in on your skills. That's how I feel. And you know what I learned about myself as a trader, and I found that this is to be very true for pretty much every trader, is if you don't have the ability to sit on the sideline on any given day, you shouldn't be trading. If you don't have the mental ability to sit on the sideline and not take trades on any given day, you probably should just be practicing. You probably should not be trading. You have to have that ability to be okay with sitting on the sideline, with not needing to trade. Because if you feel like you need to trade every single day, you are going to take some really bad trades because you're going to trade during really bad market conditions. That's just what I found for myself and what I found in most traders. And you might feel differently, but that's how I feel. All right, we're getting that break of structure right now, guys. We're trying to, at least. We're trying to get that break of structure. We haven't yet. Rough Stone, you said, hate to interrupt. Thank you. Thanks, man. Wanted to share with those here that I've recently been scammed, me and about 30 other students, by a big trade influencer with a big social media following Discord server. Jeez. That's not good. How did you get scammed, or how did they scam you? Thanks for saying that, Rough Stone. Appreciate that. Yeah, man, that's you always got to do your due diligence. Sometimes you do, there's going to be those people out there that aren't really teaching you how to trade. They're not actually teaching you how to trade. And that's literally why, like, our main focus at Eternal Exchange is education. Because there's, like, we want to give the ability for someone to either be able to copy trade or to become an independent trader. You either want to copy, if you're a copy trader, I'm here for you and I'm going to give you good call outs. But if you are someone that wants to be an independent trader, that is what we're here for as well. We don't just want you to get on here and learn nothing. We want you to learn. I want you to learn what I know, because it's life-changing for me, right? And it's life-changing for a lot of people. That's why I want you to know it. Like, I'm not going to gatekeep something that can be life-changing for, like, thousands of people. No, I'm going to share that. If you know Joe, you for sure know who this other dude is. Interesting. Scam is so common in this industry. Yep, it's very common. Very common. Yeah, I mean, I always say do your due diligence. And again, be open-minded, right? And I will completely say, like, if someone on here on this live doesn't agree with the things that I'm saying, that's cool, man. I don't care. I respect that. If you're open-minded, you need to be open-minded. If you don't agree with what I'm teaching, that is completely okay. All I'm teaching is what I think works for me and what I have seen works for me, right? I've seen it work for me, and I've seen it work for plenty of other people. That's why I'm teaching it. But I completely understand if someone comes on here and is like, this is BS, right? I respect that. You are very entitled to that opinion, man. Very entitled. So do your due diligence, right? If you see someone and you're like, oh, that's BS, then you don't listen to them. If you think I'm BS, don't listen to me, right? But again, I'm teaching you what I know to be true for myself, and that's for you to make that decision if you think it's true or not. If you think that the strategy works, then use it. If you don't think it works, then don't use it. I'm very open-minded when it comes to that stuff. I think I'm a pretty open-minded person in general. I respect people's opinions, which a lot of people in this industry and around the world don't respect others' opinions whatsoever. And that really bothers me. It's all about respect at the end of the day, man. It's all about respect. Let's see, Nat Law, or Wild West. Eternal Exchange is all about helping each other out. 100%, man. 100%. Natlop, you said, guys, I'm not a part of the team, but I've been struggling and trading for 1 year. I had 4 payouts total, and I joined Eternal Exchange 1.5 months ago. Joe teaches me so much principle that was missed in my trading, and that month and a half, I've had 3 payouts. Bro, let's go. Let's go, dude. In a month and a half, you've had 3 payouts? Oh, that's amazing. That is, oh, I love that. Let's go. Dude, that is so hype. That makes me so happy. If we inverse the 2-minute Sibi, would you start thinking about longs? Honestly, right now, I wouldn't be thinking about any trades currently, just because it's only been super choppy. But yeah, that would start giving you some conviction for sure. If we did inverse the 2-minute, that would give you more conviction to start thinking about the longs, right? But right now, what I would wait for is a break of structure again back to the upside, or not a break of structure, but a continuation of the trend. So I would wait for us to get displacement above this high before I look to take any other trade, because you guys can see when we came back up here, we never displaced this high or this high, and then we came right back down, right? And then we never displaced this low, and then we came back up. So you really want to wait for displacement and retracement here. I wouldn't take any trades unless I saw some displacement and retracement right now. I would stay clear of the market until you start seeing that breakout happen, and then wait for that retracement. Man, that's awesome, Natlop. That is amazing. You had 3 1.2K payouts. Dude, let's go. Oh. You guys I don't know if you understand how that makes me feel. That makes me like ecstatic. You know, because I just want to know. I love hearing that, because I want to just know how well you guys are doing, man, because that is, you know, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you guys make money at the end of the day. And when I see you guys are making money, man, that makes me so happy. So thanks for saying that, Natlop, and congrats to you, man. Congrats to you. I mean, you just made $3,000 and $3,600 in a month and a half from trading, man. Like, that's huge. And some people might not think that's a lot of money, but that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money to make in a month and a half. Like, especially if you have a job, man, where that's just money on the side from what your normal job is. Dude, that is the start of life-changing money right there. That's huge. You guys got to stop trying to make thousands of dollars every day when, guys, I mean, a few $100 a day can truly change your life. A few $100 a day can truly change your life. And people don't see it that way because all you see on social media is big numbers, right? All you see is thousands of dollars. But you have to understand that most of the traders that are posting that, they've taken years and years to get to that point, right? And, you know, some of them are false for sure, but a lot of these traders you see on social media that are making thousands, they didn't just do that overnight. That took them years and years to build up trading capital to get to that point. So stop trying to make thousands right now when you haven't spent, you know, years and years, or at least a good amount of time trading. Just start focusing on making, you know, a few $100 or $100 a day, and that is life-changing money, man. I'm telling you. I always like to do the math of working, you know, a 9 to 5, of working an 8-hour shift. Like, what's the average minimum wage in the U.S. right now, guys? What is it, like $10 or something, $8? Do you guys know what the average minimum wage? I'm gonna look it up right now. Average minimum wage in U.S. today. Let's see. $7.25 is the average federal minimum wage. Oh, that's 2009. That doesn't sound right. Give me a more accurate number. Everything's saying $7.25. Is that the average? What's the minimum? The minimum is $7.25. Okay. Let's just say, all right, let's say $13. Let's just say $13 is our example, right? Let's say you work an 8-hour shift and you make minimum wage at $13. That's $104 for working 8 hours. Let's say you do that five times a week, times 5. So you just made $520 for the week, right? And then that gets taxed, and then, you know, so you're making less than that. So let's just say times 4. You're making $2,000 a month at minimum wage, right? And I know most of you, you know, might make more money than that, and it might be different numbers. But let's just say, for this example, you make $2,000 a month at your job. okay, let's break it down now. Let's say you can make $200 a day from trading 4 days of the week, right? Let's say $200 4 days of the week, and then on one day you end up losing 100. So that's $700 a week. And that's assuming you have more winning days than you have losing. But right there, that's $2,800 a month. You just made more and probably an hour a day than you made working 40 hours a week, 4 weeks a month, right? You just made more probably in an hour or 2 hours per day, making only $200 a day. You have to think about it in that perspective. Like, do you guys understand the message I'm trying to say? Like, yeah, that's all gross, right? That's all before taxes. But if you think about, like, the message I'm trying to tell you is you could either supplement your income and make around the same that you make at your normal job, and that is already going to help you so much. Or if you start making a little bit more, dude, you're starting to make more than you are at your normal job just by making $100 to $200 a day or a few $100s a day. Do you guys realize, like, that is why I'm so against people trying to make thousands of dollars every day? Because I'm telling you, a few $100s a day can change your life. You're making that in a few hours, guys, compared to working in I'm not telling you to quit your job. Don't do that. Do that on top of your job. And then see how much your life changes. See how much your life changes when you start making that money on top of your normal day job. I'm telling you, you're going to see a huge change in your life. It's only a few $100 a day. And even if it's $50 a day, even if it's $100 a day, that is, you're building that income to start really, you're building it to start getting more and more in the future, right? Once you have more trading capital. So you got to think about it in that way. And these prop firms are one of the best ways you can do that, guys. You can easily make, if you have your trading strategy dialed in, you can easily make a few $100 a day if you're really good with your strategy. And you can walk away with $100, $200 a day and on a prop firm and get a payout after a month for a few $1,000s, if you take it slow. So that's what I would say. Start focusing on that. Start focusing on making a few $100 a day or $50 a day or $100 a day, whatever that looks like, and start comparing it to your normal job. I don't care how much money you make, just start comparing it to that and just thinking about, okay, I just made all the money that I made at work today. I just doubled my income today. And think about it day by day. I just doubled my income for the day. Awesome. Cool. That's all I need. I don't need more than that. Right? Or I just made half of my income on the day in 1 hour of trading. I would think about it. That's the way I think about it in my perspective. And that's how I thought about it when I was first started trading. I started thinking about, like, that's insane. That's actually insane that we have that ability. But you have to, with great power comes great responsibility, right? It's very cliche, but it's true. With great power comes great responsibility. So we know the power that we have as traders to be able to make a consistent income from something that, takes us an hour or two a day of trading. And be responsible and be grateful for that and use that to your advantage. Use that to your advantage. Don't get greedy and try to keep making thousands of dollars. That's not, when it's not very sustainable. But making $100, $200 a day is a lot more sustainable, guys. A lot more sustainable. Because of that, I just locked my account. The FOMO is real. Green is green. Exactly, dude. I love that, Javier. There's always tomorrow or next week. That is the mindset you have to have. Thank you, Sea Breezy, for saying that, man. Thank you. You can make real good money with micros. 100%, man. 100%. 100%. Hardest way to make easy money. No, yeah, and I'm not saying it's easy whatsoever, right? Trading is hard. It's difficult. It is so difficult. And if it were easy, there would be millions of people that are successful traders, right? But that's just not true. There's not millions of people. I don't know what the stat is, but again, thinking about it, okay, 95% of traders aren't successful because it's a hard thing to do. But you can be a part of that 5% if you are smart about it. If you actually put in the work to be a good trader. You have all of the info in front of you, right? All of the information is right there at your fingertips. It's on your computer. It's right in front of you. Now you just have to study and put in the time to learn. And you have to be disciplined, right? So the information, in this day and age, guys, the information is like no other. There's never been a period of time where this much information is right in front of you at all times of the day, on your phone, on your computer. It's always there. So now you need to start putting in the work to study that information and then create discipline to use that information. And that's when everything changes. How long have you been trading since you put your first trade knowing what you were doing? It took like that's a good question. Until I knew what I was doing. That's a good question. A little less than 2 years, I would say. I would say maybe like 1.5 years until I really knew what I was doing. And then it probably took me the next 6 months to really start building discipline, to actually have real discipline in my trading. But yeah, I mean, it really took like 2 years, man. It really took like 2 years to really understand what I was doing, and then to have the discipline to be patient and to take good trades and to be a good trader. That probably took about 2 years. Right? But it's different for everybody. I didn't have a mentor. I never had a mentor when I first started trading. I was learning everything on YouTube. I was being dumb. I wasn't being smart. Nobody was teaching me how to be a disciplined trader. I didn't have anybody telling me to be a disciplined trader. Right? So again, it was different for me. It could be much different for you. It could be quicker. I'm not promising that, but it could be. It could be quicker than 2 years. It's all dependent on your own trading journey. No, I started with options. I started with options trading, and supply and demand was my first strategy I started using. And I didn't find success with options because I didn't put enough time into it. I didn't put enough time into it to find any success. But I found futures. And once I found futures, I was like, yeah, screw options. I'm not going back to options anymore. I'm trading futures now for good. I'm trading futures for good. No, I definitely learned some stuff from Danny for sure when I was trading options for sure. But it wasn't really like a consistent kind of mentor thing, right? So I was kind of learning everything on my own. And here and there, I would be able to ask him questions for sure. But I was pretty much learning it all on my own. Omar, you said, been trading futures for the past 12 months, blowed up many prop firm accounts since I joined EE, passed multiple evals and been able to cash out multiple times. Still learning from Joe, but I learned that trading is all about discipline. Currently trading 5 Express accounts and about to cash out on these 5. Let's go, Omar. Let's go. I love it. That is beautiful, man. Exactly, Vincent. Everyone has their own journey. Stop comparing yourself to others. Don't compare yourself to my journey. Don't compare yourself to other journeys, to other people. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Did you improve on who you were yesterday? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you are better or worse than someone else that you see on social media. Are you better than the person that you were yesterday? And if you're not, why are you not? Oh, guys, it's snowing outside. It's snowing outside. This is our first snowfall here on the ground. Oh, that's cool. Guys, I'm from Southern California, so I'm not used to it snowing. I don't know what snow is like. I'm looking out the window right now, and I'm seeing it coming down here. This is pretty cool. Jordan, you looked out your window. Did y'all meet in school? Yeah, so me, John, and Braden have known each other forever. John and Braden knew each other since they were little kids. Me and John have known each other since we were in 6th grade. I've known Braden since 2nd grade, but we didn't know that we knew each other. And then we met Danny in high school. Me and John met Danny in high school, like freshman year of high school. We went to high school together. Oh yeah, guys, I might have to end the session and run out and do some snow angels right now, guys. This is crazy to me. I'm not used to this. This is pretty cool. I'm all giddy right now. Trading and golf life changes. I agree, dude. Golf is such a good game for your psychology. It's literally you versus you. That's a good comparison. I'm sure we all went to one of the same preschools. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bahama Llama I've known since 6th grade as well. That dude right there, Bahama Llama, in 6th grade, one of the first days I met him, he threw my shoe into a toilet. He threw my shoe into a toilet, man. And look we're still friends to this day. And I've known Wild West 23 since 8th grade. We got the homies in here. Man, it's all about I I love my friends, man. They are my brothers. And if I'm succeeding, they're succeeding. If they're succeeding, I'm succeeding. It's a mutual thing, man. It's pretty cool to have a group around you that is focused on being the right people, doing the right thing, and growing, right? That's why surrounding yourself with the right people is so important. So important. You got to surround yourself with the right people. If you surround yourself with the wrong people, you're going to start making the wrong decisions. Like that's yeah, I mean that I think that's so important. If you have a good support system around you, man, that changes a lot of things. Changes a lot of things. I have a support system around me where I know when I mess up, they're going to call me out on it. They're going to hold me accountable. When they see me doing the wrong thing, they're going to say, "Joe, what are you doing, man? Get your act together. Get your act together." You know, it's important to have people like that around in your life. I know I've been kind of ranting here, guys, but I think this stuff is so important. And there's sometimes where I would much rather talk about that than the charts, because that is your psychology, your discipline, your risk management. If you don't have that, your trading will suck. And it's just the truth. You will not be a good trader unless you have good psychology and good risk management. And that's why I talk about it so consistently, because plenty of traders don't talk about that part of trading. They only talk about the charts. And yes, the charts are extremely important, but you have to talk about the mental side of it, the risk management side of it, because you cannot find success unless you are disciplined, unless you have a good psychology, unless you are crazy good at your risk management. Yeah, man, you can learn the technical stuff in a few months. You know, in 6 months, you could have the technical, you could have the strategy pretty down. I learned ICT like the concepts in about 6 months. You know, it took me about 6 months to really get an understanding of ICT concepts, but it took me over a year to actually dial in my discipline, in my risk management, and my psychology, because that's the hardest part. That's it. In my opinion, I agree. It's harder than learning the strategy, because you could get the strategy down and you could know this ICT concept so perfect, but you still are not going to be a great trader until you know the mental side of the game. Okay, guys, well, that's what I got for you today. Again, you guys know I'm not trading today. You know, the price action right now is very seek and destroy. It's not good. There's no follow through. It's just back and forth, consolidating. I would stay out of this market right now. I would not trade this. Remember, it's just going to get worse and worse throughout the day. That's what I think is going to happen. Again, I called out this nice little setup here, right? Two different entries here. And hopefully you guys are green on the day. If you did trade, it looks like everybody that did trade is green. That makes me happy. Good stuff to you guys. But I really appreciate all of you for being here, for being active, for asking me questions, for, you know, being active in the chat room. God bless all of you. Yes, go vote today. Go vote. I don't care who you vote for, but go vote. Go vote. All right, guys. God bless all of you. I'll see my Discord members in a little bit for my mentorship class and then for our prop firm session. I'm not going to say who I'm voting for. I'm not going to get political, but I just will say that you should vote. It's important that we exercise that right. Be a part of it. All right, guys. I really appreciate you guys. You guys stay safe today. I'm going to go outside right now and do some snow angels. And we would love to have you in our Discord at Eternal Exchange. We have a free Discord. We also have a VIP Discord. So if you guys are interested in joining, would love to see you guys there. Eternal Exchange. All right, guys. I will talk to you all later. Peace out, family. Peace out.